Welcome to Adulting with Joyce Pring. Watch the full video of this episode on my channel, www.youtube.com/JoycePringTV. And if you want to level up your adulting game, check out joycepring.com/collections for my digital products and courses. Okay, next topic that couples have a difficulty discussing is finances. Now, money matters can make a lot of people uncomfortable, but most especially in the context of relationships and intimate relationships kapag talagang pag-uusapan yung debt, how much money you're making, sino may utang sa'yo, gaano kadami yung utang mo, and things like that. Finances is one of those hard topics that we had to jump and talk about when we went into counseling. But up to this day, it's still a ongoing conversation, right? How do we navigate this kind of conversation, especially with partners who just are not comfortable with it?
Well, we've established that timing would be a very
Yes, guys,
it would be a
timing.
very crucial thing to consider when we're going to talk about finances. So I guess that's one major thing.
Mm-hmm.
Second is parang laying down the setting of maliban sa timing, the intention as well, na parang na parang state your intention when you're going, kung sabi nila kapag huhuli ka raw ng pato ng duck, kailangan mong mag-bend down sa kanya para hindi siya matakot. Sabihin mo sa kanya, I'm gonna get you, ganyan, whatever. So same thing with talking about finances.
Parang gentle parenting yun.
When there is a partner or there is a person that has parang negative emotions about it right away, na parang you have to be gentle with it, na parang you say na, is it okay if we, same thing, is it okay if we talk about finances right now, because there are things that we need to talk about na hindi na natin maiiwasan.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. I also want to add, now when it comes to finances, please lang guys, be as honest and shameless as you can be. Especially when you're married already. Like, kung meron kang mga utang sa mga tao, and then you marry someone, tapos hindi mo man lang sinabi dun sa partner mo na, oh, ganito kalaki yung utang ko, maawa ka naman sa partner mo, di ba? Pangalawa, yung spending habits nyo, you really have to align, especially when you're married. Let's all just put this together in the context of marriage. You have to talk about finances talaga, because from our personal experience, nangyayari na yun na nagkaroon kami ng problema na hindi naman dapat kami yung may problema.
Yeah.
But it's finances related. We didn't have a problem with our money, but one of us had a problem with lending out money. And it didn't work out well when we're not making the decision together. And, halimbawa, or even like lifestyle, di ba? Like yung isang tao gusto mag-spend ng money, tapos yung isa gustong mag-save. It's hard when you're not on the same page with the money that you have. So, the more difficult conversations that you have, the less actual problems that you will actually have to deal with regards to finances.
Alam mo, sa amin kasi, sa music industry,
Wow.
Importante kasi talaga.
Ano? Sige, tuloy mo yan with a straight face.
Importante talaga ang future planning.
What? How is that related to the music industry?
Inaisip ko lang kasi yun yung pinagdadaan ng experience ko, na parang kapag magpaplano ako ng mga albums ko.
Sige, sampulan mo naman kami ng isang linya dyan, love. Baba,
Next
isa.
time na yun, syempre,
Isa lang. Medyo malapit sa mic ka.
Spotify, send the check.
Okay,
not gonna do this for free.
Okay, lapit mo sa mic.
Ayoko na.
Ikanta mo na. Sige na, ituloy mo yan. 1, 2, 3.
More on host pala ako. More on hosting.
Magjo-joke ka tapos hindi mo
Tapos kapag
kayo
babano-bano mag-host, more on acting po kasi talaga ako. Palagi may disclaimer. Anyway, just like what I've mentioned, future plans is also something that is very difficult to discuss with your partner.
Yes. And this might include how many kids you want, if you even want kids, if you want to get married in like 3 years' time, 2 years' time.
Where do you want to live?
Where do you want to live? Do you want to move a different country? what kind of lifestyle you want to have in the future, what kind of religion you want your children to practice, all these future plans. Most people in relationships, na boyfriend, girlfriend pa lang, nagde-date pa lang sila, do not want. They do not want to talk about these things because they don't want to rock the boat.
Yeah.
But that's hard kung meron ka talagang solid future plan that you want to see yourself doing. Right? Like I know a lot of my friends, hindi mo a lot, many of my friends who are in relationships, whether they're dating pa lang or in long-term relationships where gusto na lang magpakasal, gusto na lang magkaanak, pero wala silang magawa kasi hindi pa nandun yung partner nila. And every time they talk about it, parang sinasabi ng partner nila na nape-pressure ako. I don't want to talk about it. How do you deal with that?
Well, first of all, I just want to say na out of the points that we've discussed, this is the medyo relatively easier one. So future plans is pragmatic eh, di ba? Parang kailangan ko sabihin to, just like what you've said, na more often than not, this point uh, kailangan dinidiscuss. Arang kailangan talaga dinidiscuss even before you get married because that might lead to bigger problems in the future, di ba? So parang we've discussed this nung boyfriend-girlfriend pa lang tayo. And we dealt with it pragmatically na parang this is what I want, 'di ba? Kapag nagdi-discuss naman kayo ng difficult topics while you're not in a super committed relationship like a marriage, it's much easier to stay level-headed with it because if it doesn't match
You can
na
just break
you
up.
can just break up na parang and I don't think it's gonna work because she wants this and I want this, etc. So um we laid that down ahead of time. But then, I don't know what happens kung hindi nyo na-discuss nga. Just like what you've said, may mga times na, di ba, hindi na pag-uusapan. Tapos magkakagulatan na lang, di ba, kapag pagkasal na.
Okay. Can I say something that's related to my past relationship?
Ayan, di ba? Na-practice na kaagad, di ba? Guys, again, ulitin ko. The punches that knock you out are the ones that you don't see coming.
So can I?
Thank you. Go ahead. I just drink my coffee. Mind my own business here.
No, I'm going to say something that I think is something that a lot of people need to hear, which is the moment that while you're in a relationship, the moment that you reach a wall where you have a non-negotiable and your partner doesn't want to budge, you should really seriously consider leaving the relationship already instead of trying to sit around and wait for your partner to change when he has blatantly said that he doesn't want to change. And I say that because I've experienced that. I became a toxic person in a past relationship because clear naman yung person eh. Sinabi niya naman na, I don't want this. I don't want whatever you're saying you want. I'm not yet ready for that. It's not something that I want to get into. I don't even want to talk about it. And I stayed because I was expecting this person to change. But you know the saying that goes, when a person tells you who they are, you should believe them. It should be the same way in your relationships. Now, if your partner is not willing even to talk about it, they don't even want to discuss it, and it's a non negotiable for you, instead of dragging it out, you have to stand firm in your boundaries and walk away if you need to. Lalo na when it comes to future planning. Like, I knew I wanted to get married, and I told Wancho that. And I told him, you know what? It's not going to be a knock on you. We can still be friends, but I want you to know that the reason why I don't want to date you is because you're still pretty young and I don't know if you want to get married, and I have plans of getting married in 3 years time. So if you don't want to get married in 3 years time, you want to get married in 5 years, that doesn't match up with what I want because I'm a woman. I want to have babies by this particular time, by 28 or 29 I want to start trying for babies. That's what I see my future doing. That's what I see myself doing in my future. If you're not for that, then I don't want it anymore. Because I learned from my mistake before. Now, I've done that in past relationships. Di man past relationships na madaming beses na. But I've tried to communicate that to people, but they said no. Like, I don't want that. I'm not yet there. And I still tried to stay there. But when you were there, when you specifically said na, okay, yeah, I'm game for that. I also want my next relationship, this relationship, to be a serious one that leads to marriage in a relatively short period of time. Then I knew it was the right one. So you have to kind of be fearless in that way. Kasi
Yeah.
if not, you're gonna be wasting a lot of time talaga. And I would rather be single. At that time, nagkaroon na ako ng belief system na I'd rather be single because I was happy. I'd rather be single than have a boyfriend
First of all,
that doesn't want to
let's
get married
set
to
the
me.
record straight.
Yes.
I'm older than Joyce. I just want to say.
Okay, how
I
much
am
older?
3 weeks older than Joyce. I am much older than you. Not in terms of maturity ha, pero parang in terms
Height.
of uh, of height and
Days.
number of days in the world by approximately 21 days. Anyway, second of all, when she brought that up with me as we close this topic, it wasn't just I'm game for that. Eh. That was the thing that I was looking for already before I even considered going out with you. So, alam ng mga kaibigan ko yun na parang I'm done. Sabi ko sa kanila, I'm done. The next girl that I'm going to be with, siya na talaga. Ayoko na ng heartbreak. Ayoko na ng the fear of unknowing.
Yeah.
2016. Diba? And then, yun na. Tapos na. 2018.
Kasi ilang beses na
2019.
nagtatanong si Juancho nun, he wanted to start making ligaw. Diba? Tapos parang, hindi. Tapos finally, we had the chance to talk about it over breakfast dahil unang hirit.
Sabi ko, it's a tie.
Kaya nga, so I think it was just perfect timing also. Which, if I may, minsan you have to think about it that way na maybe it's not your standards that are too high. Maybe you just haven't found the right person. Maybe it's not your foundation or your principles that are too different or outlier. Maybe it's just not the right person. And that's okay.
Maybe your standards are not too high. Maybe you're in the wrong pole.
Huh?
Di ba yung sa ano?
Ano?
Ano ba yun sa Olympics?
Hindi ko alam sa'yo.
Tapos, pole vault, di ba? Kasi high, di ba? Tapos, standards. Tapos, baka iba lang yung kailangan mong, di ba?
That's it for this episode of Adulting with Joyce Pring. If you liked this podcast, please don't forget to use the hashtag Adulting with Joyce Pring and also check out www.joycepring.com for the show notes and tag me on social media with you know it at Joyce Pring. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Paalam!